Hi, I'm Ty Kenrick with D&D Beyond. I'm already going to lose it. I'm the content director there. I'm here with Kate Welch and my friend Satine Phoenix, and we're going to talk about stuff.
Yeah, we are.
Yeah, you guys just...
We've made each other very punchy today.
Yeah. This is going to be a mess.
But the funnest random mess.
So I'm going to ask some silly questions. Like, you just both have joined Wizards.
Hell yeah.
You're a wizard.
You're a wizard, Harry.
What has that transition been like? What has that been like? Yeah.
You've been working remotely, so your experience has been very different.
Yeah.
What's yours been like?
I wake up in the morning and I open my laptop and I'm there for like 12 hours. No, it's actually been really interesting, and I did the training up at the office, which is the coolest office ever.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, I'm in LA, but can I come back and visit a lot? Because this is the coolest office. Like, you and Jeremy, I was working, and you and Jeremy were talking business, like lore or design or something.
Very serious.
And then like someone else was talking, like playing a game in the background. I'm like, I never want to leave.
I know.
But the weather sucks.
The weather.
Weather's lovely.
The weather is lovely.
Yeah.
Seattle's amazing. I will not hear any. I mean, I guess if you're from LA, yeah, it's different.
Yeah, it's under 75 degrees.
Sometimes
Yeah,
there's
there's
rain.
weather. That's what bothers you.
There is weather. There is weather.
You're not, what is this wet stuff coming from the sky?
Where is my glowing ball of light in the sky?
I love it.
Yeah.
I like the gloom very much.
For you, what has that been like? To suddenly be thrust and spend like all day long with everyone. Like you and Jeremy have a really good rapport.
All day long.
Jeremy
is the love of my life. And as everybody in that office, I've been there for a little under 5 months now. Everybody in that office is my family, including this one who's not in the office. But
I'm that weird aunt that comes and visits every once in a while.
Like the goth aunt who like brings you like really inappropriate like
drawings,
like a stuffed
like clowns,
like a stuffed bear's head or something that she found in a vintage shop. You can do that.
That is me.
I'm
the taxidermy.
She's missing one eye.
Yeah.
But
Charming.
yeah, it's everything that you would hope would be true about working in a new environment. Everything that you would hope would be true about the people who work on D&D, it's all true.
Yep.
Everybody there, you know this. Like
it's weird.
It feels like, I've said this before on videos with you, I feel like I'm in a cult.
Yeah.
Because it makes me feel like everything is perfect. I'm looking at this camera now. Everything is perfect. Thanks, Rudy.
Oh, Rudy.
A little coffee delivery from Rudy.
No coffee for me, apparently.
Ow! No, you gotta earn it. You gotta be a wizard, baby. That's right.
That's why we got the little cups. We got the sippy cups.
Hell yeah. Anyway, it's
This
been
is
amazing.
over.
Sorry, did you want content on your D&D
No.
Beyond stream? You're not gonna get any today.
Were there any big surprises? Mainly it is. Everyone's nice, and that's like, I don't think any of us are used to that.
Nope.
You and I are from the video game industry.
Yep.
and it's just like, yeah, you're waiting for the other shoe to drop.
It's-
I'm waiting for Mike Merles to show me like his flower garden where all the bodies are buried.
Right.
Yeah, just something.
I want to be very clear because I did come from video games, and everyone in video games was amazing. Like, it was a really sweet, wonderful, lovely environment. Honestly, like, video games are tough, but D&D is tough too. And I know that eventually I'll see those same patterns. I still have the rose-colored glasses on.
Yeah.
But my video game experience was really good and got me the job that I have now. So I will always be super grateful.
But
for
there's
that.
sometimes shops that are like a little rough.
There are definitely issues. And one thing that is true, I'm just going to get right into this. It's true of Tabletop too. It's true of D&D's history. Like, there are unsavory parts of every bit of gaming that exists. And luckily, we can help start to stamp it out, which is awesome.
Yeah.
Right.
You know.
Like, and the community has been amazing. So.
Yes.
We're very lucky.
Yeah.
We're so lucky, Todd.
Oh, I don't like that.
No, I think it's because we play a game that's a cooperative game. So when there are issues that arise, discussions happen. I mean, yes, there are crazy things that happen in those discussions, but in the end, you've actually got to talk to people versus just throwing words at each other.
Yeah. And D&D is a game that is, by its very nature, it's nature, it's social, it's cooperative. And in order to play in a D&D game, a D&D game that goes on for more than an hour before people kick you to the curb, you have to learn to communicate with people, and you have to help them, and you have to be in it together. And so by that token, to your point, it's just a different kind of a community. It's I've come from, I worked on Guild Wars 2 for 4 years, which is a co-op
it's a very
type
social
of,
game.
Yeah, it's very social, especially for an MMO. And that was what attracted me to it in the first place. And then I worked on not cooperative, what is the word I'm looking for? Competitive shooter. And that was a very different kind of environment. And I'm just a Care Bear, man.
I'm allergic to the PvPs.
I love...
You're allergic to the PvP?
Yeah,
I can't hang out
PvE forever. That's not true. And WoW, I definitely was a PvP person. And
Yeah.
I ganked people in Stranglethorn Vale. There, I said it. I said it. This guy didn't like it. I was one of those. But I, as I get older, I think especially, I'm not a very competitive person. And so D&D has just been the right time for this kind of a job for me. Yeah.
How has it affected you guys? Because you, like, when D&D came into your lives, did it kind of like change you? What did you have any preconceived notions? I didn't get it. Like I read the books over and over again as a kid.
Yeah.
And then my brother ran me on my first session. I'm like, I had no idea that was D&D.
Yeah.
Like nothing prepares you until you just try and play the game.
Yeah, I grew up with the game, so that's just how I preferred life.
Yeah.
You know, like,
Yeah.
oh, I play with my friends. I've been doing charity work since I was 11. I've been playing D&D and reading about it since I was 8. Like, it just, cooperative things are in my nature. So going around seeing people play cooperative games in that, like, PvP kind of way, I'm like, no, let me show you this other way. So this is very unexpected. Didn't imagine this in my entire life, that this was a direction that I was going in. But yeah, I guess it is kind of natural.
Yeah.
You know, like, I mean, community manager.
But
Yeah.
it's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's pretty
cool.
neat.
And you are such a D&D figure. It's honestly weird to me to see you
I'm
in
surprised
the
they
office.
chose someone as mean as you. Really.
Yeah.
It's just
Super
really
mean.
hostile,
But
not
also,
friendly.
it's weird to see you when you don't have elf ears. It's
is
gotten
weird.
really
Yeah.
weird for me when you have human ears. It's really disturbing. I prefer you this way.
Thanks. But yeah, it's just a place where I can be myself, and it's always been a place I can be myself. When I take my ears off and I have to walk into the real world, there's all those other things, other
Yeah.
influences, like don't wear your ears, or don't wear all black, or don't dye your hair, and it's like, I'm gonna go in a place where people don't tell me to do that.
Yeah.
But that's kind of
There's
how
a lot of don't in the world.
there is.
Yeah.
There is a lot of don't in the world, but I think it's about finding your play group.
Yeah.
And we have all found our play group. So when I started at Wizards, it was like, wait a minute, I'm already friends with everybody here, and I go to all the conventions with them. So this is great. I
Yeah,
can
and then
just
you
work with them.
get paid to hang out with your friends, and you don't know what to do.
Oh,
It's a
no,
little
I know what to
crazy.
do.
Yeah,
I
we
have
know
Oh, you know what to do.
so much to do, you
There-
guys.
That's the thing. This is the thing. This is the thing. Nobody knows how amazing, how much the people at Wizards do.
Yeah.
Nobody knows.
It's a
they
small-
can't wrap their head.
small
When
crew.
Merle's is like, here, look at our the things that we're releasing. I was like, oh my god! And I just
Yeah.
had a meltdown. And I was like, okay, no, it's cool.
demanding, to
I'm
say
only
the
here for
least.
3 days. I'm absorbing everything. It's okay. I can handle. But you know, now that I'm like seeing it, I'm kind of like settling in. It's like, okay, that's impressive, and it just is impressive.
Yeah.
And everybody's so chill, and you know, like, I understand the celebrity that Jeremy and Chris and Merle's have, because there are people out there that play the game that are like, you're amazing.
Yeah.
Like, I recognize how amazing you are. Please sign my player's handbook, because what you do has changed my life and everyone else's lives around me.
But they're so genuine. It's so very well earned. Like
It
everyone,
is.
like you guys included, are just very genuine, open people. And when they see interviews with you guys, they're like, oh my god, like they're just super approachable and talented, and they're really passionate about the game, and that's what really works with.
Oh, keep going.
No. That's all I got.
It's the passion. We can't help it.
It's the ego.
I call it an addiction. I am
Right.
addicted to Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah.
But you know, I'm around people who are also, and we're all creative.
Yeah.
And this is exactly what I love doing, is storytelling. And I like coming up with stories, and I like watching other people come up with stories, or I like coming up with rules, and Rudy's like, that's not how you do that rule. I'm like, okay, tell me how you do that rule. You know, like I love that, the way that all of our brains go back and forth, and being in the office and just being around those giant, beautiful brains, that's magic.
It's really good. Todd just snorted. That was not good. It's so cute.
No.
It's really good.
No.
It's
I was just thinking like cracked open brains just laying around.
And they're really beautiful. though.
Yeah,
I'm squishing it with my toes like
yeah.
grapes.
All the people who failed them.
It's a merciless environment.
Like, you stopped being creative, just stamp it to the
Yeah,
wall.
carve it out.
Yeah, that's how they do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. With what is your advice for all these new players? Because the three of us are coming kind of from new media in the sense that like either YouTubing or Twitch streams and all of that. What's your advice for players who are now curious about playing D&D for the first time? Like how do you encourage someone to just make that leap, because it can be so daunting because you don't know what it is until you just try.
The hardest thing that I've heard that people always confront, and I confronted too, and I'm sure you have as well, is finding the group, right?
Yeah.
Like the magic is in the group, and you can make or break a D&D game by the group that you put together. And unfortunately, I don't have a lot of great suggestions, because just like anything else, it's trial and error. So my advice is, however you can, find a good group. In my case, it was putting together a super group of people that I just loved hanging out with, most of whom had never played D&D before. And I said, I just want to hang out with you guys, and I think we would have a lot of laughs playing D&D together. And so we played for 2 or 3 years, and it was great. It was so much fun. So I feel like the first thing to do is find your people, and then the rest of it, honestly, D&D is so easy, so easy to pick up and so easy to play and have fun, as long as you have the right group.
Yeah, I went to Australia and I didn't drink, and I wanted to meet a bunch of people, and I wanted to play games. So my ex and I were like, how do we meet people? So I found Meetup.com, and I was like, okay, I'm going to go find some adults, and we're going to play, you know, a very like puzzle-oriented D&D game. And we interviewed a couple different people because they have like D&D meetup groups and stuff.
Sure.
And that was really cool. It turned into murder hoboing, and we're like, okay. And after a few sessions, we're like, oh, maybe we're not going to play together because we don't have the same interests. But that was a good catalyst to get me in there and realize what I want out of a game and what kind of game do I want to play. When I moved back to LA, I started the LA Tabletop Gamers Meetup group. And there, it's evolved over the last 8 years to this, like, each game store has a day that they run games and they post. So, like, there's so many ways online that you can look for games. There's that, there's Roll20. You can either go that way and look for a group first, or there's forums on D&D Beyond. And that is my other thing. I'm addicted to D&D Beyond because I love being able to, like in 4th edition, Wizards had the character creator, and I would just spend my free time making characters.
Which is
So
all
now,
I do now.
I go
So
on
fun.
D&D Beyond, I just make characters, and then there's other people you can talk to about your characters. So you can get to know people that way in the different forums, or your local friendly local gaming store.
Right.
But there are so many ways. There's almost no excuse now.
Yeah.
Like, you can just do it. And if you are afraid of finding a group, like jumping into someone else's group, you can just become a dungeon master. And it's not hard, and make your own group.
It's not. This is the great lie that I didn't know before. It's not hard to be a dungeon master.
Nobody knows what you don't know.
Yes, nobody knows what you don't know, and whatever you don't know, you can just make up.
No. Yeah, the big secret is lying.
It's lying. Are you a good liar?
Lying necessarily.
It's
it's like being the
storytelling.
captain of a ship. You need to pretend with confidence that you know everything is going well and
I'm never getting on a boat with you. Jeez.
Everybody
'cause-
gets nervous.
yeah, we're gonna say.
Everyone
That's
gets
true.
nervous,
That's
and you can know everything. And you sit down at that table, and there are people either that you know and respect, so you're afraid of, or you just are afraid of talking in front of people, and you'll forget things.
Right.
But that's why GM screens are there, and you know, you have books, you have apps that you can use, and all those things make it easier. So I think a lot of people are afraid. They're just afraid of going into something new.
Yes.
But if whatever your fear is, go and look it up on the internet because you can find a way past it. And that is what D&D is amazing at, is if you're afraid of getting out of your shell, there are people at the table who will support you.
Yeah.
And the other good thing is, like, I like when I do find myself in an impasse, when like everyone goes the other way than I planned, it's just improv.
It is.
And that makes me the most happy. Actually, when I have like all these carefully constructed plans, I'm like, I'm a genius, and they're just like, no, let's go over here.
Which is
your town
inevitable.
is dumb.
Everybody in the world does that.
But
to
that
their
is
DM.
wonderful. I love it because then I relax and I'm just like, okay, this is great. Thank you for like destroying all this because now I get to make all of this on the fly.
Right.
What style of DM do you guys have? Like,
Ooh.
have you already kind of found like this is the kind of adventures I like to do? Is it more role playing focused? Are there like?
I'm definitely more. I want to make the people at my table laugh more than anything.
Yeah.
So I end up doing games that have a high potential for them to interact with me and for me to entertain them. So that does end up being a lot of role playing.
Yeah.
I don't tend to find. I've never found combat to be all that fun for me personally, and there's tons of people for whom that's not true. But when it comes to the kind of DM that I want to be, I want them interacting with the goofy characters in my head. I want them to have opportunities for like one-liners. You see them?
Looking at your people.
There's so much that I love to do as an entertainer, and having been a live streamer for so long, entertainment is sort of second nature.
Mm-hmm.
And so when you get to DM for a group of people, they're all looking to you to have a good time. Like, you are the steward of the good time. And the experience that you have from doing improv on these streams just makes you a natural DM. So for all 20 of you that are streamers that are watching this, good advice from Kate here.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think I tend to like heavy roleplay DMing.
I want to learn more. I'm trying to be roleplay in combat. Like, I just sent my girls from the Sirens through the Underdark, and what I wanted them to do was work together. So hard. I wanted them to work together, but then role play their way through it, right?
Yeah,
Like they sing their spells, and that's kind of my thing. Like, I really like, Chris Lindsay ran us through the Grung game, and it was just high pressure.
Yeah.
But it was really interesting trying to find avenues to role play. Because on other games, I'll just, here's a plot, sit back, let them do the thing, kind of let them navigate versus me just narrating the whole thing. But on
Right.
stream, it's a little different.
Yeah.
So yeah, I guess there's two different ways of Dungeon Master. So on stream, I have these elements, and so I would be a modular game master. They want to go this way or this way, whatever way it is, that I'll put those things via time.
Yes.
So everything is timed. So they can go wander off in that direction, but this monster is going to hit them whether they go here or here.
Right.
Spoilers. But they
Yeah,
don't know that, right?
exactly.
They think that that fork in the road was a choice, and they feel good about it. Like, I made this choice, or, oh God, I made that choice.
Yeah. So yeah, the illusion of player choice is really powerful.
Yeah. But at home, I'm quiet and mysterious, dark and slow.
You're freaking me out now.
Right? And so at the table, they lean in, and then there's emotion. And I tried to do that on the first season of Fury's Reach, and it put people to sleep, because if you're not here and you can't feel that
Or you don't
magic,
have like, a 100mm lens on your
Exactly.
thing.
Ooh.
Like slowly pushing in. Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
Like, the TV makes it different, but I'll run a table for 10 people, and everyone will be engaged because they're there and there's something for them. But I also have them all working together. There's a lot of role play, a lot of trying to figure out my crazy David Lynch type weird things that happen. So
That's awesome.
Yeah, it is different. Dungeon mastering for live stream is totally different than dungeon mastering here. You have to keep a pace on live stream that you don't have to worry about. But it does help in real life too. Then
Yeah.
people don't get bored.
Yeah, the same is true of being a player. I've never DM'd on a live stream. Is that true? Yes, I've never DM'd on a live stream. And I hope I don't for some time, because it's very nerve-wracking to me. However, being a player on a live stream is a very similar situation, because you are an entertainer, right? This is not a Baby Wizard conversation anymore. Sorry, we've gotten off track. But
This is still Baby Wizard.
I talk about this. This is a harsh way of saying it, but I talk about live stream D&D as kind of being a fake D&D. And what I mean by that is that you do have to be conscious of the fact that you have an audience, that you do have to keep the story moving forward, and that story arcs, NPCs, have to be meaningful. People are used to seeing characters be introduced in movies and in television series whose, it's Chekhov's gun, right? Like this character has to come back. It means something. In a home D&D game, who cares? You have a meaningful conversation with an NPC, throw it away, never see it again, no problem, nobody cares. But on a live stream, people are going to ask, like, what happened to this character?
Because it's media, and because you don't have to adhere to what you see in movies and books and everything, but people are viewing it through that lens.
They are.
Let's call it
three-act
extreme
structure.
D&D.
Extreme D&D.
Yeah.
Extreme D&D.
Not fake
But yeah, definitely not fake.
Not fake.
And if
Everything about it's real.
if you watch D&D streams, you are part of the community as well.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
don't let anyone tell you
Yeah,
otherwise.
there was this thing that happened on a live stream. Speaking of gatekeeping,
Yeah.
one of the things that I will tell you right now is that I don't know jack all about most of D&D. Fun story, and that's fine because A, even Jeremy Crawford has to look stuff up sometimes. I've seen him do it, and B, it's not what D&D is about anyway. Like there's one of the things that I was so nervous about when I got this job was having people come up and be like, what's your favorite spell of Mordenkainen's? And I'm like, I know like 3, and that's pretty good, but still, I'm still afraid of that, like the trivia and the quizzing and everything. However, something happened on a live stream with Nathan on one of the fireside chats. Someone said something. They made fun of me. Oh, because I called a Sararak just a lich. I was talking about Chris Perkins. I see him right over there. I was talking about Chris Perkins dressed as a Sararak for the Tomb of Annihilation game, which was a Danny Hartel costume, which is incredible. And I called it, I was like, he was wearing this lich costume, and someone in the chat was like, did you just call a Sararak a lich?
Oh, come on.
And I was like, yeah, I did. And sorry, that's not what let me talk to you about gatekeeping for a second. This is what I love. Addition is that the gatekeeping community is not welcome, not at all. Like I've seen Mike Merle say things on Twitter like, hey, if you're interested in keeping people out of this hobby, we don't want you. Like, we are actually trying to welcome more people, and it's working, obviously. D&D had its biggest year last year.
Well, and why would you want that? Like, why would you want to limit the number of people who are telling new stories?
I don't know.
That's insane.
Exactly.
Like, I know, first off, I know my story. I know who I am. I don't need to hear someone tell me my story again. Like, we need more voices in the community. We need more people coming up with different stories.
Agreed.
And like, you see that just in the staff. Like, I sat down and I watched Mike Merles do an adventure, and I was like, oh my god, he's so funny at like improv and characters and stuff like that. And then I saw Jeremy do it, and Jeremy is good at all of those things as well. And they're two totally different DMs, but it's just like watching two different films.
Yeah.
Like, it's so like alarmingly different styles.
Yeah.
They're so good, and the more people in the community that we get like that, the better it's going to get. Like, gatekeeping is just garbage. It's just going to hurt the community. It's going to hurt D&D.
I mean, even we've got these different shows from different locations around the world right now, right?
Yeah, sorry, I saw Strix.
Oh,
hey.
yeah.
Hi!
And you got all these people DMing from different parts of the world, and each person, each city creates a different story.
Yes.
And you know, for the last how many decades, D&D that we've known over the last few decades has been told from a very specific place and a very specific kind of people. Mm-hmm. And it's very personal because it's us telling our stories the way we tell it from our basements, from our small conventions or whatever. But now it's evolved into this crazy big thing, and people are being able to identify, and it's like, oh, that story, oh, that could go like this. This campaign book can be told in this range now. Mm-hmm. It's really amazing.
Yeah.
And I hope that people are watching those, instead of going, they're doing it wrong, they're saying, or maybe they don't even have to say anything, but they're like, I'm going to just add this to my arsenal.
Absolutely.
You know, even just a stream of many eyes. From all the other games, I learned so much. Like, Mark Holmes had this really cool thing where, you know, usually in your game someone's like, well, you know, actually I would have done this. He has a token for it. And I was like, that's genius.
Yeah.
That way it gives everybody that moment where like, well, I actually would have done this. But
Right,
you
yeah.
get to choose when you're going to say that. And then
Totally.
you also know, I don't get to change it if I've already spent that.
Yeah, there are a couple of tabletop systems that have a similar kind of mechanic, and I really love it. I think, I shouldn't talk about this. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it anyway. There's this game called Blaze in the Dark that I love, and one of the mechanics in there is that there is a mechanic built in to sort of have a flashback of a thing that you did, so that something terrible can happen. The GM is like condemned you to some fate, and you're like, oh, but wait. 2 hours ago, I actually made sure that I locked that door, so that this guard can't come in and find me. So there's
like
a
10 candles or
yeah,
something.
yeah. So I love creative stuff like that, and I borrow shit like that from my D&D.
right.
But in the DM's Guild, it says it right there. It says do
Yeah,
those
yeah.
things, add
Right.
to it.
Yeah, sorry.
Well, we're running out of time.
Now we've mentioned other products. They're like,
Yeah.
cut them off.
Yeah, cut them off. No more talking. Oh my God.
Everything influences you.
Buy D&D.
Thank you, Satine Phoenix. Thank you, Kate Welch.
Thank you, Todd Kenrick.
Oh, thank you, me. Yeah, yay.
into that.
We'll be right back. We're going to put up the schedule, and you'll see all the other streams we're going to do. So cool. Thanks, guys.